Hello and welcome back to yet another tutorial video. In this here video I'm going to be covering my Max Tech Tileable shulker unloader design. I designed this here a little while ago as I needed a sufficient shulker unloader for my storage room on my server. And I figured it would be a perfect thing to do a tutorial on as of its uses. The fact that it is compact, the fact that it is tileable, and also the fact that it is also quite cheap. So you can build quite a lot of them in a line if you really wanted to. Not that it is necessary, because one is perfectly sufficient, but the tileable option is there for you if you so choose. I am going to be conducting this like every other one of my tutorials, where I am going to show you what you're going to be building. I will explain how it works and the mechanics. Then I will show you the items that you will need to build it. Then I will get into the block by block tutorial. This should be quite a quick one today, so without further ado, let's get right into it. This is it. This is my shulker unloader design, my Max Tech shulker unloader. So this is actually a really simple build, and it isn't too complicated. These are where you get your items. So your items come here from the shulker box, and your shulker boxes go here. Now, as to what transport you want for these here items, or where you want these to go, for example, if you wanted the shulker boxes to go get stored somewhere, you can do that. This hopper can go wherever. The same thing with this one. That is up to you to decide. In terms of your item input, that is also up for you to decide. You could put a hopper here, you can remove this button and put a hopper here, you can remove it and you could put another hopper here. It's really entirely your choice. Now, the mechanics of this are quite simple. So what happens is, you put a shulker box in here, you press a button, the shulker box will be dispersed by this dispenser. The comparator will detect the items through this piston, which will power this block, depowering this torch, causing this piston to retract, retracting this redstone block, depowering this repeater, retracting this sticky piston, retracting this observer, which locks the system, allowing all the items to empty out of the shulker box into this chest. Now, once this comparator has detected that there is no items left, it will depower, which will cause this block to unpower, allowing this torch to repower again, powering this piston, pushing down this redstone block, powering this repeater, powering this piston, and when this observer is shifted across these two blocks, it will detect that it is visually seeing the two blocks underneath it and that it is moved. Therefore, it will power this block, causing this piston to extend and break the shulker box. That is your main stage of activation. Now, how it clocks itself and turns automatically, so if you have like 5 shulker boxes in here, for example, and it goes through all 5, is with this observer. So while all this main activation is going on, this torch is flickering. This observer will detect that and will power this block into this full tick repeater, which will extend this sticky piston with this redstone block, repowering this dispenser, just spurting out the next shulker box. So it's quite simple and it's quite easy to understand. If you didn't actually understand that, once you build it and put it together and watch it work, therefore you will actually understand it, because it is pretty easy. So let's go ahead and grab some items to actually put into the system. I'll use 2 shulker boxes just for a demonstration. Put your shulker boxes with however many items you want in it. Press the button. It will disperse it. As you can see, this system is unpowered. This is all retracted. Once it is empty, the system will repower itself, causing that to break. That observer will detect that, extending that piston, just spurting out the second shulker box. and then it will begin to empty out the next load of items into the chest. Once that has been done, it will empty and it will continue on the cycle until once there is nothing left in this dispenser. Your shulk boxes get stored here and your items get stored here. Nothing too complicated, pretty simple, pretty neat, and once again completely tileable because it is using no redstone dust. Now, as for the items you're going to need for this, you will need 3 sticky pistons, 2 redstone blocks, a regular piston, 1 repeater, 1 torch, 1 comparator, some blocks, whether that's including blocks to build the shulker unloader and scaffolding, 2 observers, 1 dispenser, and a handful of hoppers. Now, the hoppers will be mainly these here too, because I am not going to show you the input or retraction. That is entirely up to you. There'd be no point in me showing that, as it will depend on the storage room that you're building as to where you want the shulker boxes to go and as to where you want the items to go. That is entirely up to you. The actual item input, it can really go anywhere. You can remove this button and you could put a hopper facing in here where you stick your shulker boxes into and put the button on the side, or you could have a completely different layout. That's once again up to you. So I included an extra hopper just for demonstration purposes. Another thing, I am going to be using chests, but in your actual design you probably wouldn't have chests because you would have it going straight into your sorting system. So that's why there is no chests in the chest of items that you will need. But for the sake of the tutorial, I am going to use chests for this, as you see next to me. And that is really it. There's nothing too spectacular going on with this, so without further ado, I'm going to get straight into the block by block tutorial. Okay, now to start this off, I'm going to build up into the air just for demonstration purposes, to keep things nice and neat and compact. You're going to start off by placing a piston, then you're going to place a block behind the piston with a comparator on that facing outward. Then you are going to place 1 temporary block here, and then you're going to place a block above this temporary block. Now you're going to come underneath the temporary block and put a sticky piston facing outward, so towards this here piston. Then you're going to go ahead and remove this temporary block so you have a bit of a gap for now, because you will place a block back here in a minute. Now above this here piston you're going to put a block, followed by another block, followed by another block. Then you're going to put a sticky piston right here with a redstone block right here with a repeater on the back of this sticky piston, and put this repeater to full tick. It's important that that is on full tick. Make sure it is on full tick. Grab your observers and come and place it so the observer is facing downwards towards where your torch is going to go. How you'll know you've done this is the redstone dot end of the observer will be facing up towards this block. Then you're going to go ahead and put a redstone torch. Then off the side of this here torch, facing downward, if you look towards the hitbox of the torch, you're going to place a sticky piston. That sticky piston should power. Then you're going to put a redstone block. Now as I've built this here in the air, I am going to need to place a block here. And then you're going to go ahead and put your repeater there, and above your repeater you're going to go ahead and put another block. Let me fix that. Now you are going to want your observer facing up towards this here block. So once again, the redstone dot end is going to be facing up towards the block. Then you're going to go ahead and place a block on the front face of this observer and another block here. So you should have something like this so far. Now what you're going to go ahead and do is grab your dispenser and place it here where it is facing downward towards the chest, or towards this piston. Then you're going to want to go ahead and grab yourself a chest and place yourself 2 chests here and then 2 chests there. Then put a hopper here and hopper here. Now you're going to want to grab whatever it is that you're going to want to do the first stage of activation, whether that's a button, lever, redstone block, whatever system it is that you're wanting to add for activation. For the sake of this, I'm going to add a button, and that is it. That is your shulker unloader complete and finished. Now I will go ahead and grab a shulker box just to test it out. I will grab a handful of items. Then I will put the items into the dispenser. I will press the button. Now as you can see, the items are funneling out. That should get replaced where it will get broke. The next shulker should go. And then your shulker boxes should end up in here. Now if you did enjoy this and you might find this here design quite helpful, please drop a like and comment if you've got any problems with this design, and perhaps if you want to see more stuff, please drop a sub. Anyway, peace, have a